when I see. Hi everyone, welcome to this YouTube Live. Here's Orin. My name is Luis. How are you, Orin?
I'm good. Louis, I have a really bad dad joke for you.
No, and we're starting like that. This is how we started. Okay, welcome everyone.
What's the square root of bamboo?
The square root of, I have the answer.
No, you're not allowed to tell me. Come on.
Well, let us know.
Bamboo is not square.
It's not square. It's never square, even though people want to do that.
Okay, no more dad jokes.
Yeah, let's have another joke in 10 minutes. Welcome everyone. We are here in Bamboo U. We are here in our beautiful kitchen at the Kul Kul Farm here in Bali, and we want to talk about how Bamboo U and how all began.
Yeah, let's do that. So we've got a great little episode planned for you, and really it's just some storytelling about, how did this cool little bamboo architecture experience unfold here, and how's that kind of inspired so many people that are doing so many great things now around the world.
Yeah, and before we start talking and chatting, let us know where you're located, where you're tuning in. Leave us any comment here in the chat. We have the laptop here so we can start our conversation. Let us know if you already been here in Kul Kul Farm, if you already attended one online course or one in-person course. We would love to know where you're tuning in.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about the story of Bamboo U or the story of round pole bamboo construction in general, let us know.
And for those of you that already know, like, this entire massive industry about bamboo here in Bali, happened like in this place, like around this area. And this area is also the place where Orin started Bamboo U, just like kind of like an accident, or kind of like something that organically happened, right?
Well, sometimes I like to think about that idea that when there's a good idea out there, you have to take it, because if you don't, someone else will. I feel like bamboo is kind of like that in Bali, in the sense that we really had the privilege to catalyze it and make it something through the building of Green School, and then that was followed by the creation of Ibuku and Bamboo Pure and the building of Green Village. And so I was really lucky because there was this kind of the beginnings of this industry or this movement around creative bamboo construction. And I really got to tap into that just because, my family has been really engaged in doing all kinds of great things around not just bamboo, but like doing things around developments that are much more focused on place and much more focused on nature in general. So Maria and I, my wife, we co-founded Bamboo U together, but it actually, as Louis said, started as the Kul Kul Farm. And we're actually at the Kul Kul Farm right now. And we were running lots of different courses related to sustainable living. To be honest, we were, a little younger and kind of wanting to be maybe a little bit different from all the bamboo stuff that was happening in my family. So we really also had a strong passion for farming and like living in a way that we felt was closer to the land, and we really wanted to develop that connection and facilitate that connection for other people. But then, of course, people were like, what about bamboo? Because all of our buildings were made out of bamboo, and I had already lots of experience. I built my first bamboo building with a group of bamboo carpenters when I was 17, which was really fun.
You're still young.
Huh?
You're still young.
I'm still young. Well, yeah, but that was like 15 years ago, Louis. That was half my life ago. So we started with that, and Maria and I were like, well, okay, I guess we should definitely do some natural building courses. And then we had a great opportunity to actually connect with the visiting school from the AA, and they have this program where they have visiting schools in different places doing cool things. So we're like, yeah, why not? Let's start a bamboo course. And my dad was like, it's definitely has to be called Bamboo U. And he has his own cheesy dad thing about,
but it's a great name, actually.
Bamboo U, Bamboo Me. Anyway,
Bamboo, we are family.
But we weren't quite a university. But we were definitely heading, and the idea was kind of tongue in cheek on that idea, and also kind of connecting to. It just felt like it resonated with the idea of changing the direction of architecture. Like a U-turn. Felt like collegial, like university, and it also felt like it was, we couldn't quite call ourselves a university, but we felt like we could become this really innovative, awesome hub for young architects, designers, engineers, entrepreneurs, professionals who wanted to just spend a little bit of time getting out of their box, whatever box they live in or whatever, even us, like in our bamboo world, we end up in our own little boxes, right? Yeah. So it's really important to kind of experience something different. So we were like, okay, let's run a bamboo course. We'll call it Bamboo U. We're like, maybe we have like 10 people come. We launched it like 2.5 months before. And like we had some issues with the booking system. We're like, yeah, it's probably only going to be like 15. We'll be lucky if we get 15. We ended up with 35 people, and we're all sweating and like buying tents online to accommodate everybody. And everybody had such a blast. And it was just so clear that this was something that the world needed. And Maria and I had so much fun. That first course was like, it was just like such good energy from like all the different people. And so that was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, thanks for all to all the people that are joining. We have from the Philippines, Michael. Hello. We have Feluga Sala from Australia. Thanks for joining, guys.
We've got Quinn too, who we know really well. Hi, Quinn.
And yeah, thanks for joining, all of you. Let us know if you have any question, any comment also here in the chat. And I remember when that happened, the Architectural Association came and then you start like posting this information. I was very excited about like looking the buildings in Green School and all this like idea of organic projects and organic shapes, etc. Then I saw that it was something Bamboo U, like running one course, and then I was like, okay, I need to go there.
Yeah, so you came to like what, the second course?
The second course. So the second course, I was here like in this place. So it's very nice to be here, like again, like in the farm, at the Kul Kul Farm with all these buildings. Some of them, they're still standing here. Some others, like this one, is pretty new. But I remember staying at those tents.
I'm sorry.
It was great, by the way. Now we have beautiful yurts made by the participants. But actually, it's I mean, from a personal point of view, it was great just to be here and like very like hands-on experience, learning from the carpenters with all this passion, with Orin, with the carpenters, people that they still working here, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. We've had good track record with our team. But I mean, the second course was like so chaotic compared to now. Like everything's like, now we're like the military.
Yes.
And then it was like a festival in terms of organization.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Georgetown was here. We built a reciprocal tower. We built a grid shell. We started building the container building there. And it was everything like, okay, so next morning, what do we do today? Yeah, let's do a bamboo rack. We need a bamboo rack. So we built one, and then it was like very, organic. But now we have a very nice, and everything is very scheduled. We have like everything organized. You have like a very clear understanding of what we're doing, plus beautiful, beautiful buildings.
Yeah, it's we've come a long way, I think. In both the techniques and like the content we were teaching, but also in terms of making sure that everybody who comes really gets what they want. We got so many. It's a bit of a challenge, but I feel like we've managed it really well in the sense that it's a short period of time. We got people coming from all over the world, and they all need to leave satisfied and with whatever like bit of information or whatever angle they were looking for, right? Some people are design focused, other people are super construction focused, some people are engineers, others are like, you know, just here for the experience and don't really know what they're after yet. So it's been really like, it's been really great to be able to develop this kind of really hands-on interdisciplinary program where we bring in like different knowledge from different places, and then like really surprising people. I feel like people really get surprised. Like they learn things they weren't expecting, which I think is really good.
Yeah. So as for now, like after 8 years, it's been maybe more than 30 workshops already.
Yeah, I mean, at least
30 workshops. And if we count, because you might know that we also are running the online courses. So if we count between online and in-person course, we might have like more than 1,500 participants. So how does that feel? Like, how does that feel like having that impact on all like that amount of people?
It feels good to like, I feel really proud of the fact that we've been able to not just build beautiful buildings, but also inspire other people to realize that they can break out of like the norm of what, you know, architecture is supposed to be. And, you know, in my mind, like my personal opinion is architecture is supposed to inspire the people who are living in it. I mean, it also has to serve the functions, right? Like it needs to hit all the boxes of what that building is for. Like if you're going to live in it, or if you're going to study in it, or if you're going to do yoga in it, whatever it is, it needs to obviously be functional. But I feel like that pursuit of efficiency and function really kind of mean that like a lot of the time inspiration was like cut out of the budget, or like cut out of the conversation. Is like, oh, well, we don't have time for that. And so I think even all the people who come that don't end up, and I think like we did a survey and like the people that responded, I think like half of them actually went on to build something with bamboo, which I was really like, what? Really? Because there is definitely people who be like, well, it's really great. You can build these beautiful, crazy bamboo buildings in Bali, but like we can't do that in X country. And you know, in some cases they might be right. And in other cases, you know, I'm surprised by the kind of places that are willing to build. We just built a bamboo building in the Philippines, in the windiest place in the world. We had some great help from like awesome engineers, and you know, we had to use some steel to reinforce a few things because of the crazy wind loads. But it's essentially a bamboo building, right? Like it's serving that function of offsetting the need for steel, concrete, aluminum, wood. You know, so it's definitely super inspiring to get to share that. And you know, the only thing better than 1,500 would be 15,000. I mean, so you all need to come.
We still have courses. We have our June course, and we also have a new online course that we're working on, that the principles of designing with bamboo. So yeah, you can just jump in our website and see our online offerings and also our in-person course. We're about to do the March course, completely full booked. So then you can apply and you can book for the June course.
Yeah, definitely book the course. Our March course is almost full, so June and October. But June is the best time to come, like the weather. So you know, it's right before high season, and October is just too far away. We don't know what's going to happen. So
yeah. October sounds like next year.
I read the news. I'm like, is this year even gonna like complete itself? No, I'm just kidding. I've got to stay positive and focus on the bamboo. So yeah, definitely come in June. Check out our and if you can't come to Bali, we do have an awesome new online offering, as Louis mentioned. So check that out, the principles of designing with bamboo.
Yeah, and that's on our online courses. So how that started? Like how the online site started?
That's a great question. Well, I always had the idea, and I mean, at the time, I think it was like Jules who was managing managing the program with me, and he, you know, I kept talking about the online course, and he was like, yeah, whatever, that's never going to happen. And to be honest, like given that we were busy with the in-person course, it probably would have taken way longer. But then COVID hit, and it was kind of like we still had a lot of people, went home to either their island if they weren't from Bali and Indonesian, or to their country. But we had a core team here, like the Balinese also really lost like all of their income, and so that included our business. So Bamboo, you needed to make a choice. We were either going to like kind of stop and see what happened, like okay, but we launched like a. I was like, okay, well, like how much? Because I was really concerned, right? Like it's like our in-person course is like totally hands-on. It's all about like getting your hands like on the bamboo. Like how do I bring that online in a way that's going to be compelling? And I started at the time with Letty, and she was like, let's just try, And so we're like, yeah, let's do a short like webinar, right? Type of, and we charged I think like $25, and we decided we'll do it tomorrow. So we just said, and we didn't have much going on. So we're like, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. So we put together a little webinar. I don't even remember. And we limited it to like 50 spots, just as like, and we were just afraid of like our platform crashing. And like we weren't as proficient with online stuff at that point. We didn't even quite have a Zoom account for the company. So, wait, it's like right before we're like, oh no, it's going to stop in 40 minutes. We have to buy a subscription, that kind of vibe.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it was like booked in 2 hours. Right. So like, again, underestimating, like just, again, we're in our own little bamboo world here in Bali. I mean, COVID for Bali, like it was there was definitely a silver lining. Like a lot of people were really struggling, but there's a silver lining that like there's no traffic.
Yeah.
It felt like Bali in the 90s. Like there was still a few kind of foreigners like walking around that had staying here, but basically it was empty, right? Which is like, it's like a dream if you think about it now. So we found a videographer and created and we got really ambitious. We ended up with like 101 videos, and our videographer ended up being really amazing, which I think was also a bit of a fluke, but he did an amazing job with his team. And so we built the first online immersion, I think we called it at the time. And people, we had like over 100 people sign up during COVID, and it was like amazing. And that actually, so the online course supported all of the local team through COVID, which was really awesome. I felt like, even where the island shut down, we managed to find it. So, and then afterwards, we realized that it's a great way to continue to access people who are not necessarily going to fly to Bali for either financial or for time reasons, right?
And I mean, the good thing that happened with the online during COVID is that like the mission of Bamboo U like remained the same, which is like empowering people to build a better world with bamboo, to teach, to educate, to share like all the knowledge with bamboo, even during COVID.
Yeah, totally. It was like it was amazing to see that like we could have that like, and that we could express it through a screen.
Yeah.
Like even the carpentry stuff, right?
Yes.
Like Moko. He's just like he was so charismatic, right? And like it's just like it's like fun to watch him.
Yes.
Even if you're like if you're not going to make a fish mouth yourself, like just watching him would be really fun. So that was really incredible.
Yeah, it's those kind of videos that is not just fun to watch, but also satisfying looking at him, like just carving a fish mouth, like so easy that really invites you to grab a piece of bamboo and the knife and start like carving and getting your hands there.
Yeah, totally. Michael had an interesting question. Can you share some examples of how the businesses have impacted the local communities in a positive way, and what you've learned from them in the process? So I mean, it's the businesses. I mean, let's just focus on Bamboo because without a green school, it's like a whole other thing. Like it's basically like, I mean, it's basically created a whole scene in this part of the island that has transformed, you know, the direction, I think, of this area in a really positive way, and the quality of what's like happening locally. Like it was kind of like a backwater. There was some shady things happening before. So there's that, but you know, I don't want to speak too much to that. It's a different conversation. I think Bamboo in particular, one thing that I think we do is it's really about elevating the material and elevating craftsmen. And I mean, I've also learned so much from that. Like the bamboo craftsmen in Bali come from like a few villages traditionally, and they're all so busy now, right? Like they're getting flown around the world, not just like and not just through our business, right? So the impact of us building bamboo and sharing bamboo has been much bigger, and sometimes to the detriment of our business, and sometimes not. Like you know, it's a free market here, and like there's no copyright on the things that even if it was our idea. So lots of people are doing things, some things that we like, and other things we cringe a little bit, or it's like, oh no, I'm not sure about that. But regardless of, you know, our interests as like a business or on a small level, it's definitely impacted, I think, on a social level, the full capacity of these craftsmen to really move into the modern world and not be left behind. And I think that's really powerful, right? Because we've kind of helped reinvent a lot of really traditional skills they've had in a way that's really applicable to a relatively high-end market, right? Because it's a lot of work, and it's really hard to get new people into it, right? And so as you know, the opposite is happening from what you kind of expect. You kind of expect a general decline of craftsmanship, but I think what we're doing has carved out a little niche where there's people that are willing to pay a premium to have like a beautiful bamboo building. And I think that the main place in the market that this is really happening in a more like powerful way is around hospitality. So like, and yoga, wellness. That's really the most powerful. We do have some people making like residential units, but I think that's really powerful. So I hope that answers your question, Michael. And it's also, I think, taught me the value of craftsmanship, and the value of people who really learn how to be present and dedicate themselves. Like I'm like always like trying to do more things, and like I'm doing so many things that I'm doing nothing, you know. And like the carpenters, like Pat Jaya, like he just like, you know, he does one thing at a time, and like we literally have people coming to experience that. It's like it's almost like a form of meditation. So it's like I think it really questions like our capitalist values in a way that that like we should really think about like what's really valuable, and should we learn to do things that are good for us on a holistic level, and how do we remunerate or make sure that we can continue to support the craftspeople of the world, in a place where like it's cutthroat economics and like it's all about like, you know, reducing costs and you know, getting the best price out there.
And let us know if you have any other question here in the chat. Eco Living Mexico. Hi everyone. Hi Luis, Orin, Inara. Greetings from Tulum. Hello. That's Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hi, Rob. We miss you.
Here. Yeah.
We love your building that we've seen.
Yeah, it's incredible. He came to the in-person course. He took also the online course, and now he has been building very interesting stuff in Mexico. Good to have you here, Rob. Big hug. Tell us a little bit about what happened after COVID. So once Indonesia opened up its borders and then decided to continue the in-person courses,
I got really busy all of a sudden. I over COVID, like I was like, like I had all these ideas, right? Like I think a lot of people did, and it turned out that like a lot of people's idea was to come to Bali and take the in-person course once the borders opened. So we reopened. Luckily, we still had our core team, we managed to like finish our campus we were operating at a green school at the time, and we launched, and we weren't sure what to build the first course, so we ended up building something really wacky. We built like a giant floating egg that was like suspended from trees. So it was like a really great concept, and people learned a lot about like how to laminate structures together, which is really useful. But the structure itself was safe, but didn't feel safe in the sense that like it was a lot of movement. I was like, yeah, let's hang out up there, and people were like, I think I'm done after 5 or 10 minutes.
But it was safe.
I mean, yeah, it was like the thing, and that that's the thing about tension structures, right? Like they're actually really strong, but they move, right? So, but it moved a bit too much. So we had that course, and then we had like, I think we like hit our record number. We had like 50 people in a course. So it was like kind of like, it was again borderline going from course to festival of of lots of people, and people have lots of fun, and the more people means we have more activities, so like we can meet more needs. But it really and then we ended up transitioning back to the Kul Kul Farm, which is where we are now. And I think the biggest like innovations that we got to do after COVID that are really cool. I think the first one was doing and learning more about digital design, which you know a lot more about than I do. But having Christoph come from Hong Kong University and building the first ever building in the world that was built entirely with HoloLenses. And I think because bamboo doesn't have to be as accurate, like we literally were staking out the foundation. Like the carpenters had the HoloLenses on before the course, staking out the foundations, and then pouring them with. So we used no drawings, no measuring tapes, just like what do you call it? Augmented reality. With goggles and tablets, and that was really exciting. So we built a few domes, and then you showed up, and then we built like a massive dome. It was like an earthquake while the crane was in the air. It was like
that was a crazy story. That was crazy.
I'm so glad I'm still here and not like
and the dome is still here.
And the dome is still here.
Now it's our workshop. It's still here.
So that, and I think you could see we started playing with like different ways to assemble things using the digital design. So that was really exciting. And the other one I think is the heat bending. Right. And so we built the first ever heat. I think heat bending is like a big thing in South America, and China is also good at it. But it's the one like thing that the Balinese bamboo movement like really doesn't have. Like it's not like we like to splice the bamboo, which reduces its strength and makes all these funny stripes. So we built the first heat bent building, which is really exciting. And now we're building the second one at Green School. So that's so adding again, like continuing this process of how do we connect traditional skills and craftsmanship to like new ideas and being innovative.
And that's something that there's a lot of people very passionate about, that like how we can use all those digital technologies, new tools, but also maintaining the craft and also maintaining like the like this humble essence of the bamboo that you need sometimes for detail, just to sit down in a meditative way, just to carve, just to shave a little bit the pieces, but also how to get like this sort of marriage between technology, digital technologies, and also craft that we're experimenting nowadays here in, like with different examples and different constructions.
And I think that's gonna like moving forward, like as AI and robotics like develops, it's gonna become a really interesting like ethical question. Like what is the inherent value of human capacity, right? Because like most people don't have the muscle memory to do a lot of the work that's required to build like intricate bamboo buildings, in the same way that most people don't know how to like really be a good painter or like so and we're always like with bamboo construction, when we're doing these creative things, we're always struggling between this like, are we just like doing a technical thing and being treated like a construction company, or like a construction where you have like a bill of quantity, you have like a timeline, you have like the different steps, you have the engineering, or are we building a sculpture? And there's an artistic element where we're going to make decisions on site. We're going to be like, well, yeah, that's what was designed, but like now that we're here, like maybe we want to do this, and maybe we don't want it to be perfect. Maybe we want some imperfections to really give it character. And so that's really, and so that I think as robots and humans become like, you know, how do we make sure they're an alliance to really support our needs, and also like our inherent desire, like people do hobbies, like, you know, even if like I can see bamboo carpentry or carpentry in general in the same way that like I could see ceramics or like painting, you know, we don't need to make paintings anymore, right? We don't need to make handmade ceramic bowls, but there's an inherent quality to those, and I hope that we maintain that in buildings and use you know, how do we get the technology and the, you know, the future, you know, like at some point a robot will figure out how to make a fish mouth, right? Like scan the bamboo, pull out the knife, and like put it together, right? So I wonder, like, where will the human touch still be important? It's a really good. So I think that's something for the next like 5 years. Lewis and I are like really hoping to explore in more depth. Like, how do we bring technology into this kind of handmade world that we've started?
Yeah, and that's a very very interesting like way of thinking, like how we maintain and how we include technology with the craft. And I guess that the important thing is where humans will be part of the design, because it's the creative part. I mean, technology, and we've seen that with augmented reality, with artificial intelligence, with virtual reality, etc., and all those technologies, that they need a human intelligent enough and creative enough to give sort of, we now call it a prompt. So if the human is able to give a prompt, if the carpenter is able to decide where the fish mouth will go, how to understand like the limitations and the possibilities for bamboo, to then apply that information to technology and apply that information to all different kind of new digital things, then that's going to be like a good and interesting sweet spot between both. Humans needs that, and using that technology.
It's so interesting you bring that up, because I think that's true, especially now, like, because, you know, the AI might be really good at generating things, but it's not necessarily good at reflecting on and like having the right intention to meet like whoever the user is yet, right? So I mean, and who knows how that's going to evolve. But what I think is really interesting, and like what I wonder about, is like, even if I look at like now, like the fact that like most drawings for architecture, including a lot of our bamboo drawings, are done on a computer, right? In a 3D model, or in a CAD software, as sometimes. And what I've realized is interesting about is it drives us towards this need for perfection. And so there's a lot of tension. Well, you know, the bamboo didn't bend according to the drawing, and now it's up, and like, you know, the architect is like, it's a disaster because it's not the right arch. It's 3 centimeters off. And you're like, it's bamboo. I'm surprised it's not like, you know, 10 centimeters off. And so that need for perfection, and like how the technology drives you into a certain thinking, and then how does that relate to the fact that like putting that to the side and like picking up some bamboo sticks and just like making it yourself, or like sketching something else, going on site to where it's located, like having those conversations, you know, ideating, and like going through that kind of crucible of like creativity. How do we get that to still happen when you can like just enter 1,000 prompts and get like lost in like a million ideas, or like, well, it's all been generated for me, I don't even know what to pick, you know?
That's true.
So I wonder, and so I think that I hope that we really stay true to like, even if the robot can make the model from like, you know, maybe the robot could just make the model, like, you know, 3D print it in a way such that it like is the same as like a stick model. I don't know, or like, or whatever. Will we still want to go through the creative process of like making a sketch model, you know, ideating on it, and then like, you know what I mean? So super interesting to think about how that's gonna, because there's the other side of it, right? Which is like, okay, in the past, when we made the first yurts, we really had to like decide, like once you made the diameter and the height, like that was set. You made the yurt. If you wanted to change that, it was like a new yurt, right? So you ended up overcommitting to an idea, and now you have Grasshopper. You can just like, well, yeah, let's just tweak it again, and you make the model at the end. And then, I mean, you can kind of replicate it using rubber bands and like, you know, stretching, but it still has limitations. So there's the other side of it where the technology is really actually helping with the ideation process. So I think it's going to be really exciting to see how it develops.
Yeah, it's exciting because I guess that finding the type of projects that allow including digital technology, but also this craftsmanship, it's just with bamboo, because steel will never allow you like having tolerances for more than 3-5 millimeters.
Oh,
then concrete, everything is a formwork, and then you stick on that dimensions. But with bamboo, the interesting thing is that we have participants from the IAC, for example, Michael Salka, that is like a proficient on 3D model, 3D software, etc. But by understanding how bamboo works, then it opens like the possibilities to be able to have tolerance and to be able to, okay, there's no problem. It's no problem if you have 5 centimeters gap or differences. So then, just with bamboo, I guess that you can do that, like having that big tolerance, because, for example, we did that with the augmented reality, that you just overlap the 3D model that you have in the HoloLenses, and it doesn't matter if it's like a little bit different. You just overlay the hologram that you are looking in the lenses into the reality, and that's it. And if the bamboo it doesn't bend like you have in a 3D model, it doesn't matter because you can make it fit. So I guess that's a very important thing that is happening now, and we're very happy here in Bamboo U to explore that to ask participants to come here to explore, even to design something and have a contest, and then decide on on an idea and then build it here also.
Like we did with the playground.
So I mean, that's very interesting. That if you come here to Bali and if you come here to the Kul Kul Farm or one of our courses, you will see all these things that we have been talking about just by reading the buildings here.
It's like we have a living it's like, not museum is not the right word, but like it's like
a library.
It's like a physical library of oh yeah, and this is when we didn't this is when we made all these mistakes because we didn't know about this yet.
And it's very interesting to see that, like, for example, in the back part of the farm, you can see like those different iterations of yurts, like this kind of yurt, a big one that we have a mezzanine here, and we are finishing this also made with participants, and then small yurts with more poles, with less poles, etc., as if you're looking at a grasshopper file, like looking all those iterations, like the mistakes and the good things about one. And
and you can see literally with the first yurt we built before Pat Jaya and the carpenter team, before they knew how to build a yurt. And it's really funny, right? Because they're really good like at post and beam, because that's how we started. So like they're really good at joinery and really good at like incremental, like piece by piece, but like parametric, they hadn't really. So the first yurt actually doesn't have a ring. It's segmented with like lots of fish mouths, right? Because that's what they, so then like you could see that, and then you can see the newest yurt, which is like fully like, very well thought out from like, and then we have like, the way we cut out the cavities and the windows, like it's so there's a big evolution there, and it's a real challenge, right? Because unless you go to turning it into a square, like basically a timber replacement, and then it's just, then it fits into wood, right? Basically it's, even better in some cases, but if you want to go the round pole route, there's still like, I still feel like there's so much to learn. So that's really cool. We got one more question. Michael, thanks for asking such great questions. We really appreciate it. What advice would you give those participating in the 11-day course to get the most out of it? I mean, get as much sleep as possible before and during. And avoid late nights that involve, drinks that are not available on the farm itself. That would be my main advice, because it's a very demanding experience, intellectually and physically, because we really believe in getting people out of their heads and having them enter their hearts and their hands, and make sure that they leave not just feeling like they know more about bamboo, but feeling like they did bamboo.
Yeah.
Like they worked with bamboo. So that would be my main advice. And then the other thing is, if you're really serious about this on like a career perspective, taking the online offerings in conjunction with the in-person course is a good idea, because the people who do the online course first end up coming with they have like a prerequisite, so they don't have to ask all the basic questions, and then they can really focus on the experience. So that they go together really well, because the online course is, just by the fact that it's online, much more content and intellectual, and much less like experiential. So that would be my advice. You have any additional advice?
I mean, because we have a very intense schedule, you will see that we start with breakfast 7:30 for there's people waking up like even earlier to do workout, and then we start activities 8:30 until the evening. So after dinner we still have some talks with bamboo experts, and we are finishing the day around 9 p.m.
Yeah,
like after having a lot of activities, walking under the sun, like a lot of hands-on experience, a lot of walking. So then, you will feel very, very tired. So the next day, again and again, and it's 11 days.
Yeah. So that's our advice. We have one more question. Should you want to answer that question, Louis? And then we from Feluga Sala.
Okay, Feluga Sala.
And
then it could be interesting to see if there might be a time when a digital design could be updated as the building it's being built, so the design can reconfigure itself to include new changes. I think that's very possible.
That means like renovation, right?
I think that is like in terms of renovation, but also some changes that you might have like during the construction process.
Oh yeah, I mean it would speed up if we could have if we could have a really high, like what I'd call a high resolution. This is already happening in other like types of building.
Yeah.
But if the 3D model could be like the digital model, not the physical, could be really high resolution in terms of details, and act as the technical package instead of needing like a separate plan with all the measurements. That would you could make it would speed up the change order process. And also increase client trust, I think.
Yes.
Because you just tweak the digital model, and if that digital model is accurate and has the information to compensate for the irregularities of bamboo, which I think will happen given how digital design is advancing, that would, I think, like speed up a lot, encourage trust, improve communication. Like so many errors happen just because the final person actually doing the work, doesn't have a university degree and like misreads a drawing, right? Because it's in 2 dimensions and has to be translated into reality. So that would be great.
Yeah, I think that once the digital technologies advance, nowadays we can see that once you have the 3D model, then the same software can extract the data and have all the information for a BOQ, for example. So if those are all linked, then everything will be like changing, because nowadays, I mean, we're facing a lot of problems, for example, with big constructions, that there's a change on site and then the communication is not like very fast. And then it goes to drawings, and then drawings to technical drawings to BOQ, BOQ pricing to the client again for approval. So that
and
then back again, and okay, no, change. So if that if we're using like new software and new technologies, that can be solved like in real time. You can be walking, and I'm imagining like you can be walking with your iPad, scanning or having the 3D model or the virtual reality on your HoloLenses, doing some changes, because then you will be able to click and drag things on the software that then they will like make all the changes. So what's the price here?
And you don't need to go, oh yeah, sorry client, but it's going to cost another 3 weeks of work update the drawings to show you what you want to change and make sure you really want it.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
So that's totally.
Yeah, with virtual reality, I think that that's going to be like a big step, because sometimes as architects we might be like better communicators in terms of sketching or explaining one idea, but sometimes a client is more difficult to express what they want.
Yeah.
But if they have a HoloLenses, or if they have like some tools that can be applied on site and do those changes, I'm sure that that will speed up the process. It will be more accurate for the project, and many other advantages.
Yeah, instead of here, put on these goggles, and you spend like 15 minutes explaining it, rather than like an hour and a half presentation on a PowerPoint.
Here's a digital pen. Draw it.
Oh, you want it what? Oh, you want the window? Okay, over there. Yeah, let's.
Yes.
Window.
A little bit
that would be
bigger.
amazing.
Yes. And having the BOQ like just next to you and pricing and all. Yeah, of course. If you have some knowledge or expertise on that, like let us know. Let us know, Feluga Sala.
Amazing.
Okay, so if we can think about like just for a nice closing, Orin, like just in a small idea or phrase, how do you see Bamboo U in a couple of years?
How do I see Bamboo U in a couple of years? Well, that's a loaded question. I don't know, Louis. How do you see Bamboo U in a couple of years? No, I think I really hope that we can expand our offerings to include like more options that can hit more people. So like one of the things we've been working on is like, how do we develop smaller commitments, but that you can take at different times rather than just one big course. I see that we do a lot more things related to technology. So like we really want Bamboo U to be a lab, right? So we want to be able to experiment, not just with the things that we want to do, but also inviting other collaborators in that have ideas, and using this space as a space for them to implement those experiments, and for us to helping with that. And we also want to be able to, after people come to the 11-day course and they're off to do whatever they're going to do, there's a portion of those people that are really serious about building something out of bamboo. And so we're looking at developing a way that we can actually consult and be more involved in helping or supporting people to fully implement the information that we have and incorporate that into their practice or their design when they implement it wherever they are in the world.
Yeah. Agreed. Completely agreed. Yeah, I can see that Bamboo U in the future can be like this sort of hub that gathers all this community of bamboo enthusiasts, because it's a lot of people, like not just architects, designers, but also landowners, also carpenters, also people involved with tools, with carpentry, etc. Like many people. So it's like very broad. So if Bamboo U can be like this hub to engage as a community, to have everyone involved and have like all those connections, no matter where you are, that could be awesome. And just pushing, as always, like the boundaries and the limits of building with bamboo, exploring new ideas, new structural systems, new ways of working with bamboo. I think that's going to happen soon.
Yeah.
So well,
it's up to you guys to help us make it happen.
Yeah. So just as a reminder, we have our June course and also October course. So let us know if you want to join. Bookings are open. We still have a couple of them for our March course, upcoming courses in our online platform also. And remember to subscribe our channel. We're trying to push a lot of educational content here in YouTube in our channel. And let us know if you want to know, or you want us to do a YouTube live of something else. We have been preparing with our team many other chapters, many other lives. So so please stay tuned. And yeah, thanks, Orin, for joining.
Thanks, Louis. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We're really grateful to see that you're interested in bamboo, and we can't wait to see you here in Bali or online.
Thank you.